Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Fletcher, and welcome to the first edition of the Rangers Recap right here on YouTube.com. I am alongside my fellow colleague Anthony Florio, and Anthony, what a game we saw here tonight! Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the New York Rangers and the Montreal Canadiens. It was everything that we thought it was going to be. The Rangers had the opportunity to close the series out and win it. However, Montreal was gallant, and it was a very hard chipping battle. The Montreal Canadiens wins Game 5 tonight by the final score of 7-4, and they walk away as now we head back to New York for Game 6 on Thursday night, as the Rangers will try to clinch the Eastern Conference Championship, get the Prince of Wales trophy at that night, and also the golden ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's go right into the game. We're going to go period by period and break it down there. The scoring started right off the bat at a minute 48. Basically, the New York Rangers commit a bonehead penalty. Chris Kreider basically trips up PK Subban, and that gave them a 2-minute penalty. And then initially they gave the goal to PK Subban. However, they said no, it wasn't actually him. It was a tip in by Alex Galchenyuk. He gets the goal at a minute 48. That gave the Montreal Canadiens the 1-0 lead. And then halfway through the first period, the New York Rangers gets on the board as it was Derek Stepan. How remarkable is this story to say? Derek Stepan comes back after suffering a broken jaw and gets the goal, give the assist to Chris Kreider and to Mark Stahl as we tie it at 1. And then, well, that lead did not last very long because then Thomas Plekanec gets the goal ahead goal for the Montreal Canadiens. So at the end of the first period, it was 2-1 Montreal. Anthony, what was your thoughts about the first period?
Well, the first period was very good, and hello, friends. It's ridiculously over Anthony Floyer here with you for our debut edition of the Ranger Roundup here. I'm not at all surprised about how the game played out, but breaking it down by period, I mean, Kreider with that stupid penalty at 22 seconds in. I mean, I knew we were doomed after that because the penalties have been our Achilles heel, and that has definitely killed us in this series. The strikes have had it out for us in this series. Let's not kid ourselves, but you know, um, but it does happen, and the stupid penalties almost all the time have killed us, and that's exactly what happened. As Subban had the big shot, but it was um, I can't pronounce the name either, but I mean he had the goal. He was the guy who won Game 3 from Montreal in overtime in the Garden, and he's the one who got credited with the goal. He deflected it in off that big shot by Subban, which made it 1-0. And Derek Stepan, who was announced as he was going to return for Game 5, which is remarkable indeed. He had the jaw surgery. He's got that special helmet that you saw him wearing, and he scores the goal. He had a big shot of his own. That tied it. And then Montreal takes the lead back with Tomas Plekanec there, made it 2-1, and definitely Montreal needed it. I mean, they had to show. I mean, it's all about what I always like to say, the sense of urgency, and Montreal definitely showed that in that first period, and definitely a very good period for them, and they took advantage of a lot of Ranger mistakes. And I mean, I thought the Rangers were a little sluggish at the start, and Montreal, I mean, they needed that hot start in front of that home crowd. I mean, they didn't want to lose in front of them. I mean, I mean, here's an interesting story. I mean, I know we don't usually talk about, the national anthems and stuff, but they have an anthem singer by the name of Jeanette Reno, who's a legend in Canada. From what I guess, I mean, I don't know much about the woman, but Michel Terry, the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, he actually made a play. He said, "I want her to sing the national anthem for Game 5." I guess he's their good luck charm, I guess, and sure enough, he ended up being the good luck charm. So credit Coach Terry for that one. But in New York, we have an anthem singer of our own. I think you've heard of him. His name is John Amaranti, who was right up there along. I mean, I rank him right up there along the lines of Rene Rancourt and of course the number one guy, Jim Cornelison in Chicago. I mean, Amaranti, Rancourt, Cornelison. That's your big three right there, folks. Although you can definitely make a case for Pia Toscano, who was the national anthem singer for the LA Kings when they had their home games at the Staples Center, and what a good luck charm she's been, as the Los Angeles Kings are one win away from eliminating Matt Ward's defending champs. And I know somewhere Matt Ward is thinking to himself, "What? Me worry? Yes, you worry a lot, brother." That's all I can say about that. But anyways, very good first period for Montreal, and they needed that solid showing. I mean, after that tough loss in Game 4, a game that I can honestly say they should have won, but they didn't. So with that said, Fletch, I mean, I'm ready for this next period because this next period is going to be absolutely off the hook. So good luck trying to get through this one.
And then all hell breaks loose in the second period. First off, it goes. Montreal scores. It was Max Pacioretty with Brandon Gallagher and Alexander Markev. That made it 3-1. Then Rene Boric, he scores at 6:54 in the period with Lars Ayres and Thomas Vanek. That made it 4-1. And at that point, Alain Vigneault saw enough and pulled Henrik Lundqvist out of the game. He was gone at that point. So I know Ranger fans, you were thinking, oh God, this is probably the end of the night. They're probably gonna pack up the truck and they'll probably be ready for game 6. Wrong. Rick Nash gets on the board. Assist by Ron McDonough and Chris Kreider. Then Derek Stefan scores. 2 goals for Stefan. Chris Kreider and Rick Nash gets the assist, and then the unthinkable, a power play goal. Chris Kreider scores. Ryan McDonough and Derek Brassard gets it. We are tied at 4. A brand new game. Well, it only lasted about a minute and 2 seconds because right after that, Rene Boric gets his second goal of the game, where Dale Reese and Lars Ayres gets the assist, and at the end of 2, it was 5-4 Montreal going to the third. Anthony, you texted me and you called this probably the best second period you've ever seen in your life. Holy cow, my friend. It's all yours.
Well, this second period was definitely the greatest second period I have ever seen. I mean, I was having flashbacks to last year, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals with the Chicago Blackhawks and the Boston Bruins, that five-star slugfest that they had. That was ultimately won by the Chicago Blackhawks 6-5. But oh my goodness, I mean, 4-1, and I was thinking, like Bobby the Brain Heenan did indeed say at SummerSlam '92, they got it. Pack up the headsets. We're going home. We're all done here. But oh man, the Rangers. I mean, the never say die Rangers. I mean, considering where this team was 18 days ago, almost 3 weeks ago, where was this team? They were on their deathbeds. They were down 3-1 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. We thought it was over then. They came back, won the series. Never been done before. Then they dominate this series, and then here, Nash finally finds the net. I mean, his third of the postseason, second of this series. I mean, nice to see him getting going here. This is the time we need him to get going. I mean, he was one of the big money guys. And then Stepan with his second made it 4-3. I'm thinking, okay. I mean, we've seen this somewhere before. And what I mean is, don't forget Game 7 last year with Toronto and Boston. Remember when Boston had to come back in Game 7? I mean, that's really what started the whole Boston Strong movement. But anyways, here, I mean, this was almost like our Boston Strong, only New York Strong here. And then, wow, Kreider right in front on a power play goal, ties it at 4, and I'm thinking, wow. I'm like, I am not believing this. And Fletch was working, and I was texting him. He wanted me to give him scoring up. He wanted me to recap every goal and the score at the end of each period until he came in. And when I texted him, I was like, I am literally not believing this. 4-4. I'm like, we got a brand new game here. I mean, we just might actually have a chance at this. and then when Bork scored, made it 5-4. I'm like, yep, they got the advantage back, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finished us off in the third. But man, oh man, that second period, I mean, definitely the greatest second period I have ever seen. 3 goals on each side. I mean, 5 stars and beyond. Doc Emmerich, I'm surprised he still has a voice left, considering what he had to endure. But oh my goodness, I mean, the way the Rangers came back from 4-1 down to tie it, but then Montreal, that we ain't having this. This is our house. You're not running us out again. But they did it. Rene Bourque, he was definitely the difference maker in this one. And Henrik Lundqvist getting pulled. I mean, I'm not at all surprised. I mean, he was. I hate to say it, but he was terrible tonight. I mean, but Tokarski wasn't any better either. But Talbot had to come in. I mean, and here's the thing: Talbot actually had a solid season. I mean, he went 12-6-1 in the season, had a sub-2 goals against average, had 3 shutouts during the regular season. Definitely, he definitely had a solid effort here. But I mean, but he came in and he wasn't any better than the best in the world, Henrik Lundqvist. And I'm hoping that issue will be addressed going into Game 6 in Madison Square Garden on Thursday night. So, but man, oh man, I'm telling you. I mean, if you didn't see it, I mean, try to find it on the NHL website or whatever, YouTube, what have you. But then again, NHL Network's gonna have an encore of this game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. So if you're available, if you can watch it at that point, then you'll know. You'll be saying to yourself, "Holy crap! What a second period! This is definitely the greatest second period of all time." I mean, the greatest single period I've ever. Well, this is the second greatest of all time. The previous greatest, 1994 Stanley Cup Final Game 5, the Vancouver Canucks and the New York Rangers, where a total of 9 goals were scored in that period. Well, actually, it was 8 goals. I'm sorry. Vancouver had 5. The Rangers had 3. I mean, that was the craziest period of all time. I mean, and we all remember that. So, but wow, that was unbelievable. Hats off to the Rangers for making it, for tying it. But then Montreal, they wanted it more, I guess. So, yeah, second period, greatest of all time. Let's go to the third, Fletch, and wrap it up.
All right, the third period goes right into it, but one note. Here's the reason why that basically Lundqvist got pulled. 15 saves on 19 shots. His save percentage was only 79%. That is Lundqvist like. I mean, he definitely had not his greatest game at all. And then in the third period, Rene Bourque got a scored. Basically, Reese and Markev got assists, so it was 6-4. And then some ugly play happened. John Moore with a very vicious and maybe uncalled for hit on Derek Dorsett. Um, Actually, it was on Dave Reese, and a lot of people were saying it was almost similar to what Brandon Prust did to Derek Stefan a couple of games ago. It was a shoulder to the face. Basically, Reese was a little shaken up, but he was okay. However, John Moore got the boot. They gave him a 5-minute major, a game misconduct. He was thrown out of the game. And plus, on top of that, it looks like there could be a possible suspension that could be coming down the pipe for John Moore. That could be a significant loss for him. Then in that power play, basically, and then after that, unfortunately, nothing was scored on that. Then a couple of penalties. The Rangers were forced to pull the goalie out, and David Desjardins got a empty net shorthanded goal, basically that assisted by Matt Pacioretty. And then Rene Bourque, yes, he had a hat trick in the game. He scored 3 goals, but then he does something dirty and uncalled for, and that was Basically, he cross checks Derek Dorsett, a dirty hit at the end of the game. He gets a 10-minute game misconduct. He gets thrown out of the game. And who knows? I mean, maybe the league comes in and suspends Bork. I mean, he had the hat trick, a big performance for him. We'll just go and have to wait and see what happens there. But at the end of the day, the final score was 7-4 for the Montreal Canadiens. The New York Rangers leads the series now 3-2. And Thursday night, we will have Game 6 back at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. So, Anthony, give me your third period thoughts, and then I'll get into the three stars of the game.
Yes, 5-4 Montreal going in, and I'm thinking I'm a little optimistic. I mean, you said that we got a shot, we can win this. I'm like, yes, you're right, we do. And after what happened in that crazy second period, I was like, anything is possible. I'm like, remember, we're still trailing though. And then Borg does it to us again, gets the natural hat trick, his third of the night, hats are flying in the Bell Center, made it 6-4, and then Alain Vigneault decides to pull Talbot, go for the empty net, try to get that extra attacker in there, blows up in his face, and that was it. 7-4, and the Montreal Canadiens with a much needed win. That was a must-win game. They needed that one, and they did it in front of the home fans. And now it's on to Madison Square Garden for Game 6 Thursday night. And now here's something interesting here. I mean, Fletch has had some back and forths with his 2184 crew at his job at the Walmart there. They've talked about it. They've even, already, patted him on the back saying, hey, congrats for winning this thing. No, it's not done yet. We still got work to do, folks. And and I know that, what am I trying to think here? That they, once the Montreal Canadiens beat the Boston Bruins, I know a great majority of them, even though I don't know them personally, I know a great majority of his 2184 folks are Boston Bruins fans. And I think that's the only reason why they're rooting for our Rangers to win this series, to stick it to them. And that's what they're hoping for. So, and the other thing, now I know what my train of thought was. I know some of those fans wanted the Rangers to do it in New York, but Mikey, being the passionate guy that he is, he wanted it done tonight. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't going to happen. But then again, if I'm being honest with you, I actually had Montreal winning this game. I didn't have the Rangers winning this one tonight because I'll be honest with you. I mean, anybody who knows me knows this. When it comes to postseason and whatnot, I want to see a championship victory on home field, ice court, what have you. That's what I want to see. So in a way, I'm actually going to consider this somewhat of a blessing in disguise. If I'm being honest with you, I mean, am I upset about the loss? Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if this was done tonight. I would have been okay with it. But at the end of the day, the Montreal Canadiens just absolutely outplayed, outwitted, and outlasted the New York Rangers tonight. They chased Henrik Lundqvist. Talbot wasn't any better. But Tokarski wasn't at his best either, but it was the offense who bailed him out, particularly Rene Burke. And yeah, hat trick. I would be shocked if he ends up not being in our three stars because it was his night tonight. I mean, he was the guy if you ask me. So, but big win for the Montreal Canadiens. Now it's back to New York, and that Garden crowd's going to be on fire. John Amaranti's going to be there. He's gonna belt out that national anthem. Well, he'll be belting out both national anthems. As per tradition, they do the Canadian and American national anthems. So he'll belt out the Canadian national anthem out of respect. But once he starts blasting, Star Spangled Banner, look out! That the roof's gonna start coming off the garden. I mean, the roof's gonna start shaking in Madison Square Garden because that's how epic his performances are. I've seen them. I saw it before Game 4, and there's no question about it. On Thursday night for Game 6, that crowd's gonna be just as jacked as ever. And why not? I mean, they got a chance to do it on home ice. The last time they did it, it was on home ice 20 years ago. I mean, it took two OTs to do it, but they got it done anyway. So maybe it's an omen. So I'm hopeful that Thursday night in front of the home crowd, hopefully we can get a major home cooking feast. And if that's the case, then hopefully it will be celebration time. And you can't think of a better way to have a celebration if it ends up going down. And then, the greatest city in the world, New York City, in Madison Square Garden. And I mean, those streets. I mean, there were a lot of fans outside in New York City on Sunday night after the OT win by San Luis, and yeah, so I can't wait, man. Thursday night, Game 6 in the Garden. Rangers will have a chance to do it in front of the home fans. Let's hope it happens. I hope it happens. But I'll tell you this: if Montreal ends up stealing it, I think we'd have to consider it. I think we'd have to consider pushing the old panic button, Fletch. And you know, when we push that panic button, it's not a good thing. I don't want to have to push the panic button, but if we lose this game here, if we end up going back to Game 7 there, oh boy, we could be in big trouble. Let's hope that's not the case. I mean, I know you wanted to close it out tonight, and I understand why. The earlier we close it out, the better. But not tonight. Home crowd, Game 6. I said it going into Game 4. I'll say it again here tonight. It worked. The strategy I had worked, and I'm going to make sure it works again. Thursday night in Game 6, your Rangers are coming to play. That's all there is to it. They're coming to play. They're this close. And like I said on Friday night on Strictly Sports, do it for Marty, do it for the team, do it for the city, do it for the franchise, do it for the fans, Ranger Nation, my good friend on Facebook, Eric Peterson, who's a Ranger fan, Michael Fletcher, the diehard Ranger fan since day one, and me, since 1997, since Fletcher and I started our junior high journey in 7th grade. That spring, we were close. But it was so close yet so far away. 2012, we were close again. Heartbreak. I've had enough heartbreak in my life. I don't want any more. Don't break our hearts again, Rangers. We're this close. This close, we can taste it. Thursday night in Game 6, we're coming to play. Hopefully, we can put them away, and hopefully we can do it in front of the home fans. Game 6, I'm going to tell you this right now. Never have I wanted a game more than ever. This is the one I want. We got to win this one here. I mean, I know I should be confident going into Game 7 because, you know, Game 7, we've been great in Game 7. We've won 5 of those in a row. I mean, we would definitely have the advantage going into that. But right here, right now, we got a chance to do it in front of the home fans. Let's feast on that home cooking. We've never feasted on it before. We're coming to play in Game 6. Congrats to Montreal, big win. I'll give you that. You earned this win tonight. You absolutely outplayed us. I mean, you deserve to win this game tonight. You should have won this game tonight, and you did. There's going to be a suspension on Moore. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be out. I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, beat him the riot act. That's all there is to say about that. So, see you Thursday night for Game 6. Finish it. We're this close. We can taste it. Finish it. Wrap it up, Mike.
All right, and you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'll give you the stats to the game very quickly, guys. The shots were 28-27. Advantage went to Montreal. In the first period, Montreal outshot New York 12-10. Second period was a 12-6 advantage. The third period, the New York Rangers had 11 shots on goal to Montreal's 4. Basically, it looked like Montreal just basically went on a defensive pattern, and you know they held the scoring as New York kind of went into panic mode and definitely started firing power plays. New York was 1 for 7, Montreal 1 for 3. New York, you gotta get better on that. The hits were practically even. 29-27 advantage Montreal. Face-off victories was 36-33 advantage Montreal on that. The giveaways, they were even at 10-10. Takeaways, Montreal had 5, New York had 3. Block shots, which was definitely a very key in this game as well. Montreal's blocked 19 to New York 7. And in the penalty minutes, Montreal was more aggressive than New York, 37-14. Our 3 stars of the game, the number 3 star went to Chris Kreider for the New York Rangers. He had one goal, 3 assists for 4 points. He had 6 shots, 1 hit. He was thrown into the box once and had a total ice time of 18-13. and his plus minus was 0. After that, the number 2 star went to Brandon Gallagher. He had zero goals, 1 assist, 1 point on 3 shots. At 13:53 of ice time and a plus minus of 1. And of course, the number 1 star, no big surprise here, Rene Boric, the natural hat trick, 3 goals in the game on 4 shots. Uh, he did get penalized for 17 minutes during the game, but the one that's going to be the biggest talk about was the 5 minute major and the game misconduct on Derek Dorsett, the cross check near the end of the game that he received a 10-minute game misconduct and could get a possible suspension by the National Hockey League. All right, the goalies, Dustin Kartovsky had a tremendous game, 23 save on 27 shots, an 85% save percentage. Of course, uh, Carl Tabbitt coming in on relief once Henrik Lundqvist had his horrible performance, had saved 6 of 8 shots for himself. But more importantly, guys, it is 3 games to 2 for the New York Rangers as they do indeed lose tonight by the final score of 7-4. So, with that said, we are going to be going to indeed a game 6 on Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the NBC Sports Network, or for all you great fans in Canada on CBC. That game will be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And like we did tonight, we're going to do it again. Anthony Florio and myself will be back here Thursday night immediately after the game goes off. And immediately when the game goes final, we will have another Rangers roundup. And hopefully this time, the New York Rangers will be the Eastern Conference champions. We'll wait and see until then. So, for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Fletcher. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds, and good night. And we'll see you for Game 6 of the NHL's Eastern Conference Finals. Have a good night, everybody.